I've finally figured out what makes this franchise work. Hey YouTube, Avram here, and welcome back to the channel here at A-Vlogs. I'm so excited being able to dish out these movie reviews and TV show reviews as well. But before anything else as well, check out my Instagram account, avlogs24. All of my socials, I'll link it down below in the comment section. So let's dive in to the review of Saw 10. Okay, I'll call it Saw 10 for all intents and purposes of this video. There have been so many reiterations and spin-offs and versions of this already. Now we're in the 10th film. And this one is set, I think, in between Saw 1 and 2. It's basically in the first parts of the Saw franchise. That's why, mapapansin nyo, Tobin Bell's character, which is Jigsaw, or John Kramer, is very much alive here. Hindi siya, weak, hindi siya may sakit. Well, may sakit siya, but he's not like in the state that he was in Saw 2. Or in Saw 3, where he was on the operating table. This is the reason why I believe this movie franchise continues to thrive, continues to work. It's Jigsaw. And that's why people love it, and why I particularly love this particular film, because it went back to what made the first three very successful. It's a laid-back, let the story, let the character really be the highlight of the film. It's not really Saw that we've seen later on that has transformed into almost like a soft torture porn kind of thing, all about the gore, all about the torture, traps, and all of these things. This is probably one of my favorite Saw films, and I'm saying it right off the bat because this is the one that has the most depth. When you dissect this, when you go in deeper, talagang may oomph pala tong story na to. There's a depth to it once you understand where John Kramer is. He's not a guy who's after revenge. He's not necessarily vindictive. We get to see why Saw was really about this guy who's playing almost, not really the devil, not necessarily playing God, but more like the Grim Reaper, giving this opportunity to people to see how they will respond in these scenarios. Live or die, the choice is yours. It's really up to their willpower, their grit, but also it's like them being put into these tests para makita nila na the way they're living their lives, whether that's a sin, whether that's not really living life to its full potential, or there's certain things that are not the best way to live life. Kaya sila nandun sa trap na yun. But one thing I love here is we see a John Kramer who's just in a wicked, twisted way. Like, when he says, do this and you'll be free, you can see na talagang he lives up to that word. You see that in a trap here, where he does, in a way, live up to what he says. In other scenarios, actually, in this particular film, there were so many traps where they could have escaped. It was just their hesitation. Where I felt like, this is a just kind of villain. For me, this is the most humanized version of John Kramer. This is the version that we get in Saw 10 that I love the most, because we get to see why he's like this, and we get to see this almost morally conflicted kind of justice system. That's what John Kramer, that's what Saw actually is all about. Once you get past Saw 3, it gets so confusing. It gets all about this, cat and mouse kind of game. It becomes all about the traps and the blood and the gore, which totally misses out on what Saw is all about. And Saw 10 goes back to the grittiness, the color grading, the way Saw was intended to be. This, I feel, is the most Saw film that we've had in quite some time, and it's because, I believe, because of Tobin Bell. Everything was just laid back but was beautifully crafted. Even the traps, yes, medyo sadistic, it was gory, but it wasn't all out. Hindi siya nakakasuka, hindi naman siya yung talagang, yun nga, yung parang sabi ko, soft torture porn kind of levels. No, it was just subtle enough It was just straight to the point in terms of the story, nothing complicated. The only thing I kind of noticed was there were some like inconsistencies, and this is probably practical side. See, Amanda returns here and she is on the older side here, even if tinry nila pabata siya or make her look a bit younger, it really didn't work all that well. And there were moments here that I guess timeline-wise or pacing-wise, it's not all out what you would expect from a Saw movie, but for me as a whole, this is a very successful, very wise direction to go back to. This is the Saw that I grew up watching, this is the Saw that I love watching, and this is the kind of content from the Saw makers that I love to see in the future. I definitely give this a score of 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed this one. That's pretty much it for this review. Continue to follow us here at A Vlogs for more. And don't forget to make every day into an adventure. Bye guys. Peace out.